Robert Pattinson is probably one of the most beloved actors today, but did you know it didn't used to be like that? You probably didn't know that. When Twilight came out, people acted like it was a cancer on society, but they also hated on like so many of the actors in it. They're like, oh, the acting's so fucking bad in Twilight, as if anybody could have made that script good. People at the time only seemed to know Robert Pattinson for being that weird, creepy vampire guy, or being that dude in Harry Potter who's there for like 5 minutes and then dies. And both of these things might have given people the impression that he wasn't a great actor, even though neither of those are really his fault. But it wasn't until later on in his career, in like the last almost decade or so, that people really turned around on him as an actor. Stuff like Good Time, The Lighthouse, The Batman, Mickey 17, all of these different things have made him beloved in the hearts of most people. So is Robert Pattinson a bad actor? Hell no, but has he given some bad performances due to bad writing? Oh, for sure. That's kind of what I've been wanting to talk about for a while. I feel like for the longest time, people have always attributed bad dialogue to bad acting. Oh, the acting in the show is so bad, when it's actually just fucking terribly written. Like, who knows, maybe the people in Riverdale aren't that bad of actors, but you wouldn't know watching that show because it's so poorly written and stiffly directed that they all come across like this is their first time being on Earth, let alone acting.
If we weren't here, we'd be in high school joining clubs, trying out for sports.
Not me. I dropped out in the 4th grade to run drugs to support my nana.
That means you haven't known the triumphs and defeats, the epic highs and lows of high school football.
People often forget how integral writing is to movies and shows as a whole, so oftentimes they won't even think about bad writing when they notice that something's not that good. You guys have probably heard the expression, you can't polish a turd. That's basically what happens when an actor tries to act out a terrible script. If it is really that poorly written, not even an Oscar-winning actor can make it good.
And you think 1 year of medical school entitles you to plow through the riches of my Emersonian mind?
Entitles me?
Yes.
Entitles me?
Yes.
Entitles me?
Yes.
Here are some really quick signs of bad writing that you can look out for in the future. Over-expository dialogue. If every single scene in your movie or show is the characters going, wait a minute, I got it, and then going on a long-winded tangent which about something relating to the plot and their plan for how they're gonna fix it, that's bad writing. If a character is somehow a completely different person in the sequel, it's not because the actor just woke up a shit actor overnight, it's because they forgot how to write the character well. I'm gonna mainly be talking about Stranger Things Season 5 in this video. Stranger Things Season 5 is something I wasn't even planning on watching originally. Not only is the release window for this show so fucking drawn out and far apart that it makes a lot of people forget everything that happened in it and lose interest over time naturally, but also in the last couple of years we've seen a lot of the people in this show's true fucking colors, and I don't really like watching shows and movies that have shitty people in them if I can help it. Yeah, separate the art from the artist like people say online all the fucking time, I know. But that only goes so far when the artist in question is still actively making money off of your support. It doesn't matter if you choose to ignore them as a person. Kanye West is still getting paid from you streaming his music. But it ended up being turned on at my family Thanksgiving, and I was already drunk because it was Thanksgiving. And I was like, fuck it, I guess I'm watching Stranger Things. As I'm recording this, which is probably too soon to be honest, the last half of the final season isn't even out yet. It might be closer to being out or already out by the time you're seeing this video, but like right now, it is not. I am mainly just talking about the first 4 episodes. I just wanted to clarify that in case suddenly this season became like a 10 out of 10 masterpiece in the last 4 episodes. I should also clarify that I am not like a big Stranger Things hater. I never really was. I actually used to love this show quite a lot. Just wanted to say that so you know that this isn't a video of me shitting on Stranger Things just because it's popular. In fact, I don't even think the newest season of this show is all that bad. I think it's just like a fine season so far. It's got like an interesting kind of plot, it's got some funny moments, but the writing leaves a lot to be desired. Especially when it comes to the way it structures these characters and the dialogue as a whole. I'm not gonna lie, the show has always had problems the way it treats its characters because one, there's fucking too many of them, alright? This is straight up some Harry Potter shit with how many motherfuckers are in this goddamn story. Also, this is straight up some Harry Potter shit anyway. This has led to a lot of the characters who are really important early on in this show becoming completely sidelined as it goes on, and becoming like hollow shells of what they used to be. Thankfully, for the most part, I feel like a lot of the characters have been giving their hands on cool moments again. They've been doing my boy Mike some justice in season 5 for once, because if you compare that to season 4 where he is just the biggest bitch, it is such a different fucking thing. I don't even know how to express that, you know, it's so different. So I'm glad that they're giving these characters like Mike or Jonathan or Nancy more important shit to do again, but at the same time, there's too many motherfucking characters. The season is already halfway over, and they still haven't killed a single one of them off yet. I'm of the opinion that they should have been killing motherfuckers off the entire time, but they have waited until the last minute, and they said the season was going to be serious, but I honestly feel like not nearly as many of them are going to die as people think, which is kind of playing it on the safe side, I feel like. But aside from all of those things, my biggest problem, and a lot of people's biggest problem with this season, I think, has been the dialogue as a whole. Good God, what the fuck is going on here? Stranger Things has never like perfectly written in the past. I feel like the best dialogue was in season 1, and then ever since then it's kind of fizzled out a bit. But at the very least, it was charming, it was cute, it was funny sometimes, even if it was kind of like on the nose or campy. It felt intentional, you know? It felt like very much part of the kind of 80s vibe that they were going for. In this new season, it feels robotic, it feels weird and stiff. Not only are all the characters exposition machines, but half of them don't even feel like themselves anymore. The biggest case being Robin. I feel like a lot of people have been talking about this. People have been saying character assassination. They've been saying that she's been straight up lobotomized, which is fucking nuts. But I totally understand where they're coming from, because if you go back and you compare season 3 Robin to the one that we have now, these are entirely different fucking people. And it's not in the sense of like, oh, she grew as a character. It's in the sense that they regressed how they fucking wrote this character. In season 4, so long ago I don't even fucking remember, but in season 4 she felt a little bit different, a little bit more on like the quirky, poppy side or whatever. Like they were really leaning into the silliness of this character. Robin is definitely one of the best comedic reliefs on the show, or she was, I feel like, but if you lean too much into somebody being a comedic relief, it can kind of ruin the character entirely, because now it's at a point where she's just kind of there to say like really stupid sitcom sounding ass lines all the time, you know?
Before anyone notices they're gone.
Dick.
What?
What? Oh. Sorry, did I say that out loud? I thought I was talking in my head.
It feels like a parody of Robin, of the real Robin, you know? And it's not at all the fault of Maya Hawke. I think she's doing the best she can with the material that they've given her this season, and the best she can do is all she can do to keep this character from feeling like a fucking joke completely. The fact that she even still feels like she's part of this group or a fucking human being at all is because of Maya Hawke's performance, not at all because of the writing of the Brothers Duff.
Hey guys, Editing Brandog here to say that I've seen a lot of people recently say that the reason Robin's character is so different in this new season and in season 4 kinda isn't because the writing changed, it's actually because she's neurodivergent and she's just not masking it as much anymore or whatever. Now while I think that that's kind of interesting to think about, I think you guys are giving the writers of this show way too much credit by saying that. It's just that trope we've seen thousands of times of other stories before where writers aren't able to capture what makes a comedic relief character interesting the first time, so they just make them overly silly and annoying next time we see them. So I'm sorry to other people who've been saying that, but it really isn't as much of a gotcha as you think it is. In fact, it honestly comes across like a cope.
She's not the only character that feels kind of strange this time around. They have once again decided to just put Steve and Jonathan back into this stupid love triangle with Nancy, even though Steve has been broken up with her for like 5 fucking years at this point. Maybe it's time to just move on, dude. I like that character a lot, especially the note that they ended him on in season 4, and it's a fucking shame that they keep regressing him back to the same showboaty fucking self that he was in the first season. I'm sick of it. Jonathan himself used to be a major factor as well, but now his only role is to have everybody be mad at him all the time for some reason, and his mom to send him on suicide missions because she's so obsessed with her second child. I think the biggest problem too with this whole season was the fact that they kind of wrote themselves into a corner with season 4. Season 4 had its issues as well, especially in the second half, I feel like, but in all honesty, that probably should have just been the ending of the fucking show. Because I think a lot of us thought when that season ended, where the fuck is this gonna lead? And I think a lot of us are kind of unsure about where that's going still. There's some cool ideas like Will having powers and whatnot, but it feels like this whole final season is just kind of messy in a way. Not to give too much praise to stuff like Harry Potter because fuck J.K. Rowling, but compare this to like Deathly Hallows or something. Deathly Hallows works surprisingly well as a final narrative because it takes a step back and mainly just focuses on our main trio that we've come to love over this story as they go across this fucking terrible journey with each other and experience all these terrible things and have big fights and fall apart but then come back together in the end. But this season has so many characters doing so many things in so many different places all the time, and there's also so many things that they need to explain to you that half the time the show just has to fucking pull off in the middle of the highway and be like, okay. So yeah, in closing, this newest season of Stranger Things 5 is pretty decent for the most part, but it leaves a lot to be desired, especially compared to the other few seasons. I feel like it's still better than season 2 at least, though. So you got that. I feel like this probably just better helps the opinion that people hold that this show should have ended after season 3 or even season 1, because it unfortunately reached a point that a lot of us were worried about, where it stops being this fun, interesting little mystery show and instead becomes this complicated, over-the-top Avengers type thing, where you're just like, yeah, I'll watch the new season of Stranger Things, but you're not necessarily excited about it anymore. At least this is the end. All I can say is I really hope that they stick to landing a lot more with the second half of this season. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Trying to think of like a Stranger Things quote to end this off on or something, but I can't think of any